Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Knits and Giggles podcast. I'm Brandie.
I'm Debbie. Episode 6. I've lost track already.
I haven't. Hey Debbie, what the heck are you wearing today?
Well, let me tell you, I am wearing a nursing pillow. So,
Why?
why? I'm going to tell you. Where did we see this?
On Instagram.
Instagram. Somebody is selling, it's basically a nursing pillow for crafting.
They're calling it a crafty arm support?
It totally is, guys. So here you go. I've got this for free on like one of our Facebook upcycling pages locally. But it's great because you put it on and it supports your elbows and your hands while you craft.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. I highly suggest you get one. This brand, I can't remember, I think it's called a Boppy brand. Well, I think that's just the cover. But I think the brand is Boppy, and it's like foam. I don't like this one as much. I think from past experience of owning a nursing pillow, the Jolly Jumper ones seem bigger. This one's a little small. And it's like not as deep on the arms. It's quite tiny.
It's very tiny.
I have to like squish it on. I think if you got the Jolly Jumper ones, they might be bigger.
I think mine was bigger when I was actually nursing.
Mine was bigger too.
Yeah.
But there are many on the market. you might be able to find a nursing pillow for your knitting needs.
Hot tip from Knits and Giggles. Don't fall for the crafty armrest that's $50. Get a free nursing pillow.
That's right. There's lots of them online for free.
And Debbie, because I know the story already, tell me about how you procured this knitting pillow. What happened when you put this on Facebook?
Well, I was looking for the nursing pillow on Facebook, and I posted it in the upcycling group, which my sister is also part of. And instead of messaging her and saying, hey, I'm looking for this, so don't freak out, or maybe blocking her even, she saw it and immediately said, oh, yay, I'm going to have a new niece or nephew. But when I posted, I was like, for those who know me in this group, I am not pregnant. Because people would just assume. But I am not pregnant, and I needed this for knitting needs. Then when I brought it home, before I got it home, I was like, oh, I'm so excited. I pick up my nursing pillow. And my daughter's like, I'm so excited for my new little sibling. And I'm like, your sibling's going to be a hat. So, yes.
That's awesome.
I sit here and it's so supportive of my, well, it's like wedged right onto me. It's like sitting on its own.
You could almost hold a bowl of chips.
It could.
But all joking aside, we are supposed to be knitting with our arms up, so we reduce tension in our shoulders and neck. And
I know, ergonomically, and then you're not having to like look down or hold your arms up in the air. Yeah. It's like, really, if I had my knitting out, I could show you.
That's awesome.
But so cute.
All right.
Except I left it out and then my dog ate a hole in it. Probably because it smelled like somebody else.
You're not going to eat? You're not going to wear it the whole time?
No.
Okay.
I could. It's actually quite comfy.
What else are you wearing?
I'm wearing knitting.
This beautiful.
This is the hipster shawl. The pattern's Hohi Locatelli. And you can see it has all of her hipster things have that same kind of motif. What are they like? They're yarn overs and then they drop down and
diamonds.
create. Yeah. This is a worsted weight pattern. She has a hipster light as well, so it's fingering. This yarn is called Olive Park Yarns. They're from Manitoba, and they custom dyed this for me in like 2019 because they posted on their Instagram or something a similar color, but they didn't have more of it. So I was like, please remake this color for me. So
it's beautiful.
They did. It has a very like black undertone into the green.
It's lovely.
And I ordered this and I got it like a couple days before I was leaving for the UK on a like 3-week trip. So I brought it with me and cast it on my vacation.
Made a shawl.
And I made a shawl.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Every time you wear a shawl, I'm like, oh, I should make one of those.
I don't really wear shawls
I
very
don't
often.
either, but every time
I have
I'm
a few.
like, that would be nice.
I like cowls better.
Yeah.
Because they stay, unless, I could tie this and then it would basically be the same.
Or you could get one of those cuff things.
Well, I made those cuff things before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have some. I have a whole bunch.
Okay.
One of the crafty endeavors I've tried before.
Let me rephrase that. You could use one of your leather cuff things.
One of the, yes.
And that would look like a dark brown with that would look stunning.
They go like this and they cinch on there.
Nice.
Anyways, what are you wearing?
Oh, yes. Well, this old thing. I'm wearing my, help me out here. Trinnigan by Andrea Mowry. It is made with Estelle. DK, maybe. And then a mishmash of Spin Cycle that I got off a D-stash. And I used like 2 skeins. It was awesome. I will talk about this a little bit because every time I wear it out in public around knitters, they're always interested in this because I did make some mods, and the original pattern is very, to me, like house coaty. It's very large. I think it's like 16 inches of positive ease is what like the recommended is, 10 to 16 inches, which is huge. When it first came out, I was like, yeah, that's not my style. But then Debbie made one, and she made some mods as well, and I was like, oh, I really like that. So the mods that I did was I made the smallest size, which would have been like 4 sizes down from what I should have made. I made it with DK instead of worsted, and actually the Spin Cycle is sport. So I changed my needle size a little bit to accommodate that, but still make it quite small. And then with the sleeves, normally you don't decrease, so they're like quite big, and I decreased mine by a lot. I can't even remember. I think it would be like by 4 or something like that. My friend Vivian would be able to tell you because she's the one that told me what to do. But so my sleeves aren't as big, and then I stopped them here because I always shoving them up anyway. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the only thing I wish I would have done differently is I wish I would have made the band a tiny bit wider because it does sit. You'll see during the podcast it slides down, and I think if the band had been a little bit wider, it would have been okay. But I will be completely honest. I just got tired of doing ribbing.
Is your bottom ribbing bigger? Like the it's a little bit.
Like it's really hard to see this.
It's higher.
Like it is a little bit. Like I would say probably
double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing the band wasn't even that bad. It was just tedious, and then I was just like, I think this is good enough.
Yeah.
Like I do with everything, and then regret it for the rest of my days.
Good enough.
Oh man, I have a crop top. That's not what I wanted.
I did make a Trinnigan too. It's also in the navy blue Estelle. And then my color, I didn't use
contrast.
Cycle. My contrast was Malabrigo. But I didn't mod the sleeves, so mine are the wider. But it's fine for what I throw it on and it's cozy and whatever.
Honestly, I maybe should have made mine a little bit longer, only because I kind of like wearing this as like more of a coat, like especially in the spring and fall here. Not right now because it's freezing. But
not right now. We have a lot of snow.
Yeah, but this was when I finished this. I was very proud of it. Like I've been knitting for 3 years now, but I would say the first like 6 or 8 months of that I didn't really knit much. I didn't knit anything that I can still wear or use. Like everything was not well done.
A tester.
So, yes. Oh, look, a giant hat that would fit on a big rock. Socks that fell apart.
Deconstructed socks and rock hats.
That's great. And not to mention the dishcloths that were supposed to be square but looked oddly like a rhombus. Yes. So I was very proud of this because it felt like one of the first things that really turned out really well and was kind of a little complicated. It was my first foray into mosaic knitting, and all this to say, if you're a new knitter knitting rhombus shaped dishcloths, you can do this too.
You too can be a good knitter.
You too can be a good knitter.
I am going to say that I forgot to turn on my do not disturb on the device that is recording us.
Oh no.
So we're going to hope no one tries to call me. Or it will probably do something
And
weird.
if they do, we'll answer it on here, live.
On this other phone.
How many phones do you have?
I have 2. This is my work phone, but they're like connected, I think.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so I have 2 phones.
Whatever, James Bond.
I'm answering calls from volunteers. Very James Bondish.
Very James Bondish. Okay. So what do you got next on your list?
I have whips.
Me too.
Oh, yay. We sync today. Okay.
So far.
Do you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
So I'm making this Surrey shirt by Caidree. Caidree is her Instagram handle, Caidree, and I forget her name off the top of my head, but it's not going to be very visually appealing right now. But basically, the construction is you make the shoulders first, and then like the front shoulders, and then you make the front, you kind of join, and then these are the back shoulders. So right now it looks like a floppy training frog. Heck is this?
Or like one of those like magic bag things that shapes around your neck.
Yes. Oh, look. Yeah, so I mean, not really super appealing, but this is the yarn that I bought at Knit City, which I'm really excited about because one, I've got my frame sweater going, which was Knit City yarn, and then this. So far I'm doing 2 of the projects that I bought yarn for, so I feel less guilty about how much things I bought and then, it's just languishing in my basement. But this was from Fibre Goddess, and we've talked about this before, but I'm holding her merino fingering weight with her camel silk, and it's just lovely.
Super nice.
Yeah, I think because I didn't gauge swatch. If you've been around here for a while, I don't gauge swatch, and I don't care. But this is definitely going to be a little bit bigger because I guess when I was figuring out the size, I should have went with the smallest size. I don't know what I was thinking, but I went with the size 2 and with the little bit of lace weight because the camel silk is a lace weight, and the shirt is designed for a fingering weight. It is a little bit bigger, so when I measured from the shoulders down, it said it was supposed to be about 7.5 inches, and it's 9. So it's going to be, I'm more concerned about how wide it's going to be versus down because because with the neck construction, it's like quite boat necky. So I think my collar will fix any if it's too low. I can just make the collar bigger.
Yes.
And you pick that up after, so I'll be able to try it on and figure it out.
Decrease it.
Yeah.
Basically, if you have to pull it in.
Well, and she actually has a thing on her pattern that says if you want, or maybe it was on her Rav notes, that it was like if you want your collar to be, or your top part to be less boat neck. It's not really boat neck, but boat necked, then pick up less stitches. Mm-hmm. So that's probably what I'll do. I'm not too worried about that. And I'm not overly worried about it being too long, obviously, because, well, I'll just make it shorter. And about it, I'm not even that worried about it being too big because I think that it'll be a nice oversized. I don't really have anything oversized, so I usually stay away from too much of oversized because I feel like, and this is just a me thing, but if something is too oversized on me, I feel frumpy in it. So, yeah.
It will be cute with like denim shorts.
Yes.
Isn't it a tee?
It is a t-shirt, but
I just can envision
it would be, yeah.
With denim, the color with denim shorts in like the summer. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. It feels thicker than I expected it to, but I
don't know.
I think it would look really good with like a light denim for sure, or even a dark denim. Maybe some jeans.
It's cute.
Brown leather
Very
jacket.
soft.
Yeah.
Do
Okay.
you have more whips? No.
I do, but let's wait for the next one because it's funny.
Okay. So I'm still working on this.
Did you work on it at all since the last podcast?
Very little, I think, probably.
Like it.
So, yeah, it doesn't look like it. So, this is the Magpie Bling. Magpie. I have note. When I look at them. Magpie Darling Shawl by Amanda Kafka. So, I kind of like put it on hold because our Canada Post is on strike. And I have to send it back via Canada Post because that's the return label that I have.
Oh.
So I'm not in a rush right now to get it done because I can't send it anyway. So I'm like, well, I'll just work on other things. But it is like 2/3 done. So I feel like it's kind of turning out smaller than I would expect just because the yarn is thinner. So I feel like when in her pictures, it looks so big and like cozy, but because this one is light and airy, it's just kind of turning out.
Did she use different yarn in her pictures?
I think so. I honestly I have links today.
La-di-da.
Let's look at this. No, well, it says fingering weight, which I guess these together might be fingering weight. A very light fingering weight, though, I think. Yeah. But
I want to see the picture.
It just seems...
Yeah, I see that. Yeah. It looks a little thicker.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm still working on that. And it will be done by next time because I'm assuming that Canada Post won't strike forever. And I have to send it back. So that is that. I have one more. Do you want me to share it before you do?
Sure.
Okay. Then my next one, back to my notes, is the Night and Day Cowl.
No way you cast that on?
I did.
When?
Last week.
It's beautiful. We saw each other and you didn't tell me. What
I
is
didn't.
this?
I didn't.
James Bond.
I don't have much done yet.
Oh, I love it. I love the colors you chose.
So the Night and Day Cowl is Andrea Mowry, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It uses DK weight. It's very easy. I guess it would be classed as mosaic because you're slipping stitches to make that little drop down.
Is that a variegated yarn?
Yes. So the yarns that I'm using are both from Rose Hill.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Rose Hill Yarns is local to us. Robin makes really nice colors.
Did you buy them with the intention of putting them together? Or did you stash
No, I have a lot of her yarn. So, and they all seem to kind of just go together based on the colors that I gravitate to.
They look like they could be in a kit, you know?
Yeah. I don't think I bought them at the same time, actually. But the blue is called Night Cherry, and the variegated one is called Cold Wanderer. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
So that is that.
Okay, well, my work in progress is... So, I don't have a lot today. And yesterday, when I was kind of doing my notes and having a little bit of a panic attack about not having a lot, I asked myself, what would Debbie do? And the first thing that came to mind was Debbie would panic knit an emotional support chicken, and that wasn't going to happen. So the second thing that Debbie would do is panic knit some ear warmers for gift knits, which she's doing right now, so I didn't want to be a copycat. And the third thing that Debbie would do is she would reach into the depths of her closet and find a very old work in progress and pull it out to share. So literally went to my closet, dug around in I have like a low bar that has sweaters and stuff on it. And so I shoved them back because I knew that behind there was this bag. And in this bag,
this is very nefarious.
Da, da, da. In this bag is a work in progress that I have not worked on in at least 3 years. Might be 4. I'm not sure. And you guys, when I pulled it out, I was laughing hysterically. I cannot wait to show this. What do you think it might be?
Well, I'm guessing it's a crochet something.
She's right.
You didn't knit then.
Yes, it is.
And it looks really big. So is it a sweater or a blanket?
Yes. Oh, it is a sweater.
Okay.
And okay, so this is, I'm just going to tell you what it is before I show it to you, but I'm going to tell you. The sea glass knit sweater came out and it was huge and everybody was so making it. It was beautiful. And then a crochet version came out and I was like, I got to make that. But when I started making it, and so if you don't know, the sea glass sweater, the design is 1-to-1 color work, knit and crochet. And it's designed to use up leftovers or minis or whatever. So, I actually didn't have enough leftovers, so I asked my friends for some of their leftovers in like sort of a color palette, and I pulled them together. And at the time, I thought this was going to be amazing.
I'm kind of afraid.
Okay, but before I show this, I have to say that this is not technically the sea glass sweater, because I did 2 rounds of the 1-to-1 color work in crochet and said, F this shit, it is awful. I am not color working. So I just switched to stripes. And now I have a lovely garment that is reminiscent of those 1980s rag rugs that were all over my aunt's house.
I was gonna say, what? It's a little clowny, but like,
why am I making this? It looks like one of those rag rugs.
It does. Here, let's hide the sleeve. And like,
you know the ones where they had like a little, they were all like wrapped around.
There.
Beautiful rug. or
it's a rug. Oh my god.
I'm not gonna wear that. What do I do with this thing?
The back seam looks a little weird.
And the back seam. Yeah, the back seam. Show them how awful that is.
Look it. So,
oh my god.
Okay.
It looks like a
And
toddler surgeon
neck.
did that.
What's going on with the neck?
Dude, I don't know.
So, how could we repurpose this?
I don't know.
You could steek it. Can you steek crochet?
I don't know.
And you could
Make it into a pillowcase?
make it into a rug. I don't know if it's the right fiber.
I don't know what to do with this. Like, I feel so bad because it's like all this yarn, but I will never wear that rug. I held it up. I'm like, why did I think this was beautiful? Like, somebody might, but I'm not wearing it.
No.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this thing. I feel like I can't just go home and put it back in the closet now that I know.
I was going to say, you could just put it back in the closet.
I don't know if I can. It's going to haunt me. Before it was like, oh, this unfinished project that I will get to someday. And now it's a rug I will never wear.
You could, do you want art for your walls? So you could like...
If I hung this on the wall, I would be like, what the...
Not the whole thing. Like, what if you...
It's just in a shadow box. On a hanger. He did just say that our bedroom walls are too plain for him. He's feeling like they're too plain. Well, hello, honey.
I'm going to hang a half-done crochet ugly carpet sweater on the wall. Okay. No, at Little Blue Fiber Studio, they have framed... Swatches. So what if you, like, could just, like, frame part of it?
Honestly, on the drive here, I was like, would it be terrible to donate this and the yarn and maybe even a crochet hook to like Goodwill and be like, maybe someone will finish this really lovely project?
Maybe.
No, I don't think I can do that. It's fine. I'll figure it out.
Would it be hard to just rip it out?
It's scraps.
Oh. I wouldn't do it.
I'm not doing it. If you see this podcast and you're like, wow, what a beautiful rug. I would love that for my...
Maybe you want it.
If you do, please message me because it is yours free of charge. I'll ship it to you.
And then we'd like to see
I
it
want it to
finished.
go to a good home. Or if you decide to put it up on your wall, that's fine too. You don't have to wear it. I'll even give you the yarn to finish the sleeves. I've got that too.
That's nice yarn.
It is really nice yarn. It's indie dyed. It's all indie dyed yarn. All indie dyed yarn.
Indie dyed yarn. Yeah. An indie dyed rug.
Indie dyed rug. But this bag, when I pulled it out, I was like, oh man, I've got all these cool pins. Like, this is like a little mushroom pin that my friend gave me. And I don't know where these other pins came from, but there's all these other pins on this bag, just languishing.
That's a cute bag.
Yeah. My friend Ariana had too many bags, so she sold me this one for a cheap price. But yeah, that's the comical work in progress.
Nursing pillows and carpets.
You're welcome.
You never know what you're going to get.
Episode 6. What's next?
I have FOs. But
okay, I don't, but go ahead.
What's on yours?
What's next on mine?
Yeah.
Wish list.
Oh, I have no wish list. You can talk about your wish list.
Okay. Okay, it's not knitting related, but I still was really excited about this. I follow an artist on Instagram. Her name is Colby Bloom. And on Instagram, she is This Writing Desk. And I started following her a long time ago. My sister-in-law, actually, I think, had sent me her stuff and was like, you should really check her out. I think you'd like her. And I think in her Instagram thing, she says she's like a recovering perfectionist. What I love about her stuff is she very much talk about like intentional art and just like even making a scribble and how, you know, people are like, oh, I'm not a real artist. And she's really against that negative self-talk and how like everybody is an artist, including herself. And even if all you do is just like scribble. And so I love watercolor. But I have definitely caught myself being like, oh yeah, no, I'm not an artist, like whatever, just a hobbyist. But anyways, I actually I bought one of her books because one, I wanted to support her, and two, I thought it's about creating light in watercolor, which is something I really struggle with. Mm-hmm. So anyways, I was going to bring it to show you, but she does an art retreat every fall, and she announced 2025 October's retreat. And it's in Portugal. What? At like what looks like a private villa type. Yeah, so you are in the house. You have access to the pool. There's a chef. And I don't remember how many days it is. I didn't even look at the price because I know I can't afford it. But how amazing would that be? So that is on my wish list. I've been brainstorming
It's probably right around the time of Rhinebeck, so you couldn't go anyway because you'd be busy.
I think it is exactly the time. But I've been brainstorming how to make more money so that we can do all these cool things. And I have come up with a foolproof plan. Foolproof.
Don't steal this plan. Are you going to share it or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to win the lottery.
Okay.
Or... this is a little bit more nefarious, but I think I should start going to bars where, like, lonely elderly people hang out. So possibly the retirement home. And genuinely make friends with someone, because you know I would. Play crib with them. I'm a great crib player. And then I don't want them to pass away at this point because I'm now attached to them. But they're just going to gift me with money. That's what's going to happen.
Okay.
Foolproof plan.
Any old people that live nearby, turn off this podcast right now. So that
you don't think I'm an evil genius. I'm kidding about it all, obviously. I said I didn't want them to die.
Well, I can tell you where the various elderly people meet up in the area because I met a lady.
She's an enabler.
Who volunteers with seniors and such and was talking about the politics and the elderly cliques in our community.
No way.
And how there's a group of seniors that meet at this one community hall in Sherwood Park.
Notice how she doesn't say the name. She doesn't want me hanging out there.
I don't want to badmouth these people. But anyway, they meet there, but they are so cliquey apparently. They don't want other seniors to join or the under 55 people they don't want to attend. You have to be like 70 something to attend that seniors community.
The elderly are cutthroat. My grandma is like this. She's 93 and she's just like, oh, there's people here at the home and they talk too much. They make too much noise. They can't sit at my table.
I love the elderly people.
So do I.
I'm going to be one of those one day.
I'm hoping that I'm less grumpy than my grandma, but we'll see what happens.
I think that it just comes with the territory. You're allowed to be grumpier.
But I want to be nice. Like, my grandma can be very, very not nice. To everybody, including me.
But there's like automatic forgiveness or something for the elderly that are grumpy. Because it's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. When my kids were little, they had to call great-grandparents, and my husband, his grandparents at the time were still alive, and so he actually has a full set of grandparents still alive, which is amazing because he's in his 40s. They're wonderful, but my son called his maternal grandmother and my maternal grandmother and asked them the same questions. And my grandmother's answers were like, well, like it was the dirty 30s and we didn't have any money, so we ate potatoes. And then like we didn't have any fun. And my husband's grandma was like, oh, well, I remember having ice cream and it was so lovely. They were the exact same age.
Some people need a reframe.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Potatoes can also be good.
Yes.
I love potatoes.
I love potatoes.
It's like my favorite food in all forms.
It's true. Yeah, so that's my wish list.
Well, then that reminds me. So, an art retreat, a local artist, Kaylee, who did my birthday thing.
Yes.
She did an art retreat recently with her artist friends, and she posted about it on Instagram. And I thought it was one that she was hosting or something. So I messaged her and I was like, how did I miss this? That you were hosting some art retreat. It was like a weekend thing at some retreat center or whatever. And they went out and did the various art things, not all just painting. There was different things. And I messaged her about this and she goes, no, it's not like a public thing. It's my artist friends and I all get together and have a retreat. And then they teach each other things or share in art creation.
That's lovely.
For a weekend, and they do different things like yoga and various things. So I was like, well, you should host one. Yes. And I would go.
Ditto. That sounds like so much fun.
It would be great. And it's local. So maybe in the future, Kaylee will have an art retreat.
That would be fun.
Be super fun. Yes. Now are we on FOs? What do you have next?
Well, I have new yarn, then new patterns, then FOs. Okay. I don't have any new yarn, so
I have no new yarn.
You can do FOs.
Okay. My FOs are not that exciting. So
wow.
I know.
And everybody just stops watching
right now. Sorry. Because we've already talked about these so many times.
Yeah.
But this is the classic ribbed hat by Pearl Soho. And we've been working on these for our Knit Lovers Book Club. This was the Cal project, the Knit Cal, but there's crochet as well. So yes, I finally finished it. Now, as you can see, this hat is very pointy.
Oh, mine's not. Mine's in the car.
I think I screwed up the decreasing and it just kind of kept going and I didn't start doing the double, it was like...
So remember I said that I just like wung it at the end because I messed up? So maybe that... it was supposed to look like that.
I don't know. The pictures don't really look like this. But...
It kind of looks like a mitten end.
Yeah, it's weird how it does that. But, so I could wear it where it's more slouchy, I guess. Or... You could... It has this little
little
nub. Weird. It's not even. It's just
no.
I don't know.
That's a little weird.
Weird. But you could roll it over and be warmer.
Yeah.
But I'm not keeping this, so it's okay. It's gonna be for someone else. I might give this one to Charlie because it's finished. And this it's just done. My niece Charlie. And it's made in Estelle Wave. You can kind of see the color change. How it gets darker in some spots. But that is that. And then my other FO, I made another one of these because I'm making a whole bunch. So
this is why I didn't frantically knit one last night.
So this is the Cadillac Knot ear warmer. I have a note because I forgot. By Acadia Knits is the designer. And I made this one in super bulky Woolies Thick and Quick. Which is a yarn from Michaels. So I cast this on when Brandie and I went for lunch the other day. And I basically finished it while we were at lunch. Mm-hmm. And it's not like I knit on it the entire time because I was eating. But it's so fast. It's brioche. So it's very squishy. And
when I got there, you were knitting on the hat, weren't you?
Well, I had the hat out, but I didn't want to do my DPNs.
Oh.
Because I was having to switch, and I was like, I'm not going to. So I cast this on. But it's only 10 stitches across. So...
It's fast.
It's fast. But I basically knit the whole thing there, and when I got home, I think I had 2 more rows to do, and then I just connected it, and that was that. So you can make it in a lunchtime.
In a lunchtime.
Yeah. Very great. gift knitting. And then I added this to my FO, but it's an FO for ages ago. So, I want to show this because I think it's
the cutest.
It's appropriate for the season. So this is the woolly wreath, and then there's a garland as well. So the pattern is a set, the woolly wreath and garland set from Church Mouse Yarns. So you have to, the pattern is not on Ravelry, so you'd have to go to Church Mouse, their website, and buy it off there. I think it's like $11 for the combo pattern. And then the wreath can be made in multiple sizes. So this is one of the smaller ones. So I bought like one of those wire wreath forms at like the dollar store. And then the yarn that's used is
it looks like roving.
It's a slub. So it's a thick and thin, so you can see that it's like spun in different thicknesses.
It looks store-bought. Like, it's so gorgeous.
And the yarn is from Fleece Artist, and it's their slubby mix. But so I have actually some left of this, so I can show what it looks like.
Oh yeah.
But you can see that it's thick and thin, slubby. But Fleece Artist has lots of colors too. If you don't want white, you can get green or variegated or whatever. And the yarn is around $36 Canadian. And one, I think, would be enough to make this size. I might have had two.
I feel like you could easily make this adaptable to every season. So, like, you could have the green bow, and then, like, at Easter or whatever, spring, you could put something else on.
Mm-hmm. And just have, like, this knitted
little like, wreath ghosts and bats.
In different colors. Make a black one.
Yeah.
You don't even have to use, I don't think, this yarn. So, if you have, like, a handspun, like a handspun art yarn or something that has like different fibers in it, or there's ones that have like the sari silk and stuff in them, that would make a really nice wreath. And then you could showcase it, then have it out, because a lot of those art yarns are not great for garments and things
they're
like
more
that.
for like weaving and stuff.
Yeah, so you could do something like this, and it's pretty easy because you knit this flat and then you seam it together around the form, and then if you kind of like peek through, the form is wrapped in fabric.
Yeah.
So I just wrapped the form in just like strips of what is that fabric called? I can't remember.
Flannel.
It's not. No, it's like just a cotton.
Oh, feels flannel.
Something. So I just wrapped it around so that you don't see anything through it, and the fabric is kind of just a cream color, the same as the yarn.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's super.
And now I want to go home and free.
And all year long, I hang this in my office. And then at Christmas, because I had pulled it down, I hang it on my mantle, like in the middle of the mantle. So
nice. Yeah. Okay. I have new patterns next.
You have no FOs?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I do not have any FOs. Well, I do have a sock, but I didn't bring it.
Okay.
It's boring.
Boring.
So I was looking at new patterns that are out there. I don't think some of these aren't necessarily new, but have you seen the Hilma hat by Liz Smith, Old Salt Studio?
I have no idea.
Okay. Well,
I feel like the name sounds familiar, but
I will bring it up. Somebody had shared it, and I was like, "Oh, I love that!" And I had it all brought up, and then of course it's gone. So I'm actually gonna show you the one that I was like, "Oh, I love that." It's light. Yeah, so it's like a poppy design. It's the color work is, it says here. Okay, hold on. It's some sort of poppy anyways.
So is it double knit?
Or what do you mean?
Well, so it's like one side is one color, but it's the same design on the other side,
yes,
but a different
fully
color?
reversible. I didn't look at the actual pattern, so I don't know how it's knit, but yes, it's fully reversible, and then I'll show you the designer, her posts. But I'm like, So yeah, so it is double knitting, which I have never done.
It's really cool because then being reversible the other side, like normally if you did a color work like that, you'd have all the floats right on the back.
Yeah.
But then double knitting is the same on the other side in the reverse color. So that's what makes it reversible.
Yeah, it's super cool. I really, might be something I need to do. Also, it didn't help that it was in my colors.
I've seen somebody do double knitting in person once when we went to like a knit afternoon or something, and she was making a blanket with like a heart design, I think, and it was double knit. And she was just designing it herself, which was even more crazy for me to watch her making this. And she's like, it's so easy. And I'm like, it doesn't look easy, but...
Oh, wow. I've never seen double knitting. I'm not really familiar with it. So I didn't even know that that's what was happening there. And then another one of mine is I think it's pied cardigan. And I've just been so drawn to the asymmetrical, not matching up stripes. And so this is by Caidree as well, which I'm knitting the shirt by her. And it says that the release date is right before Thanksgiving, but I'm guessing that's U.S. Thanksgiving. So soon, because this was 4 days ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Thursday is there.
And then I have one more that... Have you seen I don't know how to say this, but it's by Isabel Kramer, and I think it's the
I saw this today.
Heimathafen? I don't know how to say that.
I don't know.
But, so there's a sweater, and I showed up. So I really like this, and it keeps coming up for me because I'm following people who are, doing maybe test knitting or something for her. Okay, the picture's not really great, but here's what I have to say. I was like, I'm going to add this to my knit list, and I want to do it. But then this morning when I was staring at it for too long, probably, it became like one of those, where you're looking at something, you see something, and now all I can see is middle fingers.
Yeah. Great.
I think I was trying to do that not on camera, but I think it actually, yes. So now I'm like, okay, so do I knit this sweater and then go out in public like...
Everybody's getting the finger on repeat.
Yes. You can see it, huh?
I do.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I know, and once you see something, that's what you see.
You can't unsee it.
It's like that lady who had the sweater that was like scorpions, but it actually looked like vaginas.
Mm-hmm. Or the one that is designed with like cute little puckers, but it looks like cat butts all over.
Yeah. And I feel bad. Those designers don't see that, obviously, when they're making it. That's not their intention, to make a cat butt sweater. But then it looks like that.
Or maybe it was.
Maybe.
A little tongue-in-cheek. Yeah. So, yeah, those are my three...
I have
patterns.
6.
What?
I know. Oh my God. We're going to be here for a while.
Yeah, you're like, I don't have much to talk about today.
I'm going to find all the patterns. Well, okay, 2 of them were because I thought they were cool, but the other ones are because I'm trying to make a decision. So, anyway.
Okay.
So the first one is called the With Love bookmark, which I thought was super cool. Literally, knit bookmarks.
Knit bookmark.
So,
I like that. That would be a good gift knit.
Yes. So it's fingering weight yarn. So just think like if you wanted to showcase some of your fancy hand-dyed fingering scraps, whatever, you could make little bookmarks. And so the pattern is by Haley Quinn.
And it's free.
It's free. And they're just cute.
They are
she has. Oh, this one shows the bookmark in a book. But yeah. So there's that one. And then my other one that I thought was fun because we talked about gift knits or holiday knits last time. But then this one popped up. And it's the Yuletide Mosaic Stockings. And I thought, I love mosaic. And then there's different ones. Now, these are crochet mosaic though.
What?
So I noticed that this morning.
Yeah. Look at that. They are crochet.
They're crochet
beautiful.
mosaic. And there's different ones.
I love the color choices that this person chose.
Yes. So they're made in DK weight. But then I was looking at the mosaic patterns. Those could totally be redone as knit. Mm-hmm. Like it would be pretty easy to chart them into mosaic knitting as well. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do that this year. but
yes, Debbie, I'm sure you do.
But
it's November 24th.
I know. And they're also done toe up. But again, if I were to do these as a knit, then I would do them top down. Yeah, so I thought those were cool. Now my other ones are for my decision making because we've been talking about knitting vests. I want to knit a vest because they're very much popular and all the rage apparently in the knitting world. But I bought this for work. I bought this like collared long sleeve shirt, and I thought this would be great for a vest, to be worn under a vest.
All right.
And then somebody at Knit Night the other night said, oh, they're cute to be worn over t-shirts even. So I started looking at different ones. So the first one is the Stockholm Slipover by Petite Knit. And it's pretty. This one's a crew neck. Very basic.
What weight of yarn?
This one
that's pretty. I like
is
that.
a worsted. So she holds a lace and fingering together to give it a fuzzy.
Yeah. I like the fuzzy.
Yeah.
Oh, and I like the way she styled it with that blouse.
Yes. This blouse doesn't have a collar. There's another.
But it has poofy sleeves, which is kind of
Yeah, that's cute. So that's one of them. And then Petite Knit also has a Stockholm Slipover, so the same thing, but a V-neck. And it's the same weight, a worsted weight, but it's the V-neck design instead of, and these are top-down knits.
Do you own one of these patterns?
I don't think so.
Oh, I feel like we've talked about this before, and I feel like you bought this pattern.
I don't know if it's in my library. So those are two of them. And then the other one, maybe I own this one. No, it's still, I don't own this one either. So this one is the Ash Slipover V-neck by Caidree. And this one's a drop shoulder design. So I like the V-neck on this one. It just seems more...
Oh, yeah.
It's pronounced, like it's bigger.
Bigger. It's more of a sweater. Like the arms and stuff. It's so
yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
The drop shoulder.
Yeah.
But I think...
I've almost bought that pattern a few times.
So she has this like styled with a tank top, but it could also go over something longer sleeved. Mm-hmm. I guess a t-shirt, it would be pointless.
Yeah.
Like besides the fact that you'd want something in the V-neck because it's quite low.
Mm-hmm.
But this one's a bulky weight.
Oh, okay.
Or super bulky.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
13. I definitely want one that's more of the like classic
vest looking.
Yeah.
This one appealed to me because I like the comfiness, but I also like the quickness of a bulky knit.
And it would be very versatile.
Yeah. To be worn on over top of various things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With just a tank top.
And then the last one, the fourth vest, is the Alchemist Slipover by Wool and Pine. This one's a newer one, but I like the side detail.
Oh, I've seen this one. Yes.
So it's like open and then tied.
I love the front of that one. It's very long.
Yeah. So it's a V-neck as well. And I like the length because I like the really thick ribbing.
It looks really cute with a t-shirt too.
Yeah. So it would look cute over like anything. Yeah. T-shirt, long sleeve, or button, like blouse. But all of them these four that I picked, they don't have a lot of they don't have cabling or a lot of detail. They're just very basic because I think like my striped shirt my blouse that I bought has stripes in it. So I wouldn't want...
You want something more basic that doesn't
compete with the pattern of the shirt. And this one, the Alchemist Slipover, is a DK weight as well.
And you like the DK and up knitting?
Yes. So all three of them I picked worsted, DK, and bulky. So all of them would fit. It just depends on what kind of design I feel like going with. But I have yarn that, except for the bulky, I'd probably have to buy something. But that one I might use like a Michael's yarn for because it's less expensive. and it'd be quick. But the other, like a worsted and a DK, I have yarn for those already if I decided to make one of these. So those are all my patterns.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see which vest you choose.
One of them. We shall see.
I need to start looking for vests too. I really want to make a vest. So, have you chosen another thing to... Debbie needs to cast something on. She doesn't need to, but...
I haven't decided yet.
She's trying to think of a project. I'm not peer pressuring her or anything, but frame sweater.
Well, part of me is like, should I fix my tessellated? Because that's sitting in a bag. And I need to take out the shoulders and like make it longer.
That. Yeah, fix your tessellated.
And then I saw when I was looking for the vest, there's a tessellated vest.
Yes. Oh my gosh,
So,
I want to make the tessellated vest.
So really, I'm all basically done if I decided to turn my sweater
into the vest. You could make the tessellated vest.
Because I basically just have to fix it, have to take out the shoulder bind off and then make it deeper because the armholes are so
then
tight.
You'd have
Then I could just basically finish it and then I'd have a tessellated vest.
Okay, I vote for that because that would be amazing. And your colors for your tessellated would be perfect vest.
Yeah. It's very subtle.
Yeah. Pastel-y.
Yeah. Gray.
Yeah.
I don't have it with me. It's
Yes,
in the closet.
But you could definitely pair that with lots of things. Oh my gosh, please make that into a vest. And then now I need to...
And then I wouldn't have to make any sleeves, which is like...
Yeah.
The biggest deterrent for sweaters because you
Right.
get stuck on Sleeve Island and... Yeah.
You have me sold. You're making a tessellated vest out of your tessellated sweater.
It's almost there.
That's a really good idea, though.
Yeah. Well, the versatility of her having these multiple patterns, because Andrea Maury is kind of known for that, right? Like taking one motif and making it into different multiple hats and various things using the same patterns.
She usually comes up with a pullover, and then sometimes a cardigan, maybe a vest, and then usually also like a hat or a cowl as well. Like her traveler, she's got the traveler shell, the traveler hoodie, and the traveler hat.
She has a cowl too, I think.
She might also have
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe I will have a vest soon.
If only you would put as much energy into vests as you do knit earwormers.
I like fast things.
Your vest is almost done.
It is. It's like I skipped the whole process.
Yes. What do you got next?
I have reading.
Okay, me too. I have a book rec. I just read Emily Henry's Funny Story, which Debbie had actually messaged me months ago and said, so I've read Emily Henry before, probably because of you. The first one I read was Book Lovers, and I really liked it. And then I read a couple more of hers, and what is the one? People We Meet on Vacation. It's not that I didn't enjoy the book, like I enjoyed the writing and stuff, but I was a little bit annoyed with the characters. I'm like, just get it over with. But anyways, I felt like some of the stuff that happens in that book is like so unrealistic. Like they would have communicated with each other by now, like they're in their 30s. But anyways, I had kind of was like, oh, I'm not really going to read another Emily Henry for a while. And then you had messaged me and said, you have to get Funny Story, you're going to love it. So I immediately went to Libby and I requested the ebook, but of course there was like a 36-week wait, and I just got it. And the other day I was like, I'm gonna read for a little bit before I go to bed. So I got that book, opened, and then I met Debbie the next day for lunch, and I sat down and I was like, I have a little bit of a headache, and it's my own fault because I stayed up until 12:30 reading that book in one sitting.
We do these things to ourselves.
We do these things to ourselves. I could not stop reading it. It was so good. She writes banter almost like, I don't think I read another author where the banter just is just so witty and believable. And maybe it's because like the main female character in this book, the things that she was saying, I was like in my head saying before I was writing it, reading it. It's so my sense of humor. So I love that book. I'm actually going to give it 5 stars, I think. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
It was a good one.
It was a really good one.
The book that I finished, I listened to this one. This was an audiobook. It's called Two Can Play by Ali Hazelwood. I have a picture of it. because this isn't my regular phone, so I can't go to my Libby and pull it up. But it looks like that. To play. So on Goodreads, it has a 3.6. I would say it's at like 3-ish. It's listening to it. It was only a few hours of listening, so it's probably like a 300-page book or so. It's like shorter. Mm-hmm. I felt like it's typical Ali Hazelwood. It has some spice in it. Probably around the 3-4 level for spice out of 5.
I think that's quite spicy for an Ali Hazelwood.
Is it? Well, what is she normally?
Sometimes there's not a lot. Like sometimes I've read quite a few of her books, and I would say like she kind of varies. But like I've read ones where like the spice is almost completely off page, like it's hinted at.
This was not. It was very much.
I think she does have a couple where she does write a little bit more, but
but the spice in this one happens later, and then when I was actually surprised because I'm like, okay, they got together and all these things are happening now where they're in bed for 2 days. And then it's like the book and then it ends.
Oh.
There's no like... So the premise of the book, Two Can Play, they're both video game designers, I guess. Mm-hmm. And they work for different companies, but the companies are coming together to work on a game together. And their CEOs or whatever decide they're going to plan this retreat for 4 days in the mountains in the winter, where they bring their teams together to see if they can get along. And it's like team building. But these two characters have a history because they work in that world together, right, and know of each other at different conventions and whatever. And so they've crossed paths previously, and then they discover that they've each had feelings for each other in the past that they didn't share. And then they meet at this team building thing and disclose how they feel. But so again, it takes place over 4 days. That's it. So it doesn't give a lot of, it gives a little bit of backstory, not a lot. And then basically it ends with them going back to town and then it's over. So it's like a novella, I guess, because it's so short.
She writes novellas. Like that sounds like I've read 2 of hers that are novellas. They're based on like a group of friends or whatever, and maybe even 3. And that is exactly it. Like all of them take place over a very short period of time, less than a week. Like the one, I think it takes place over like 3 days, and it's like exactly what you just described.
Yeah, it's like that. And I think this one's only an audiobook. I can't
find it anywhere because you had mentioned that.
I don't think it's like an ebook or even printed. I think it's just an audio.
Interesting.
And it's very short. So at the end, I was like, okay, it kind of wrapped it up because now they're gonna be together.
But it seems so unrealistic because like who gets together in 4 days and then there's no conflict or anything,
and there's just no continuation. Like I want to know how this goes now that they're together when they're back in town and in reality and not in the mountains. Yeah.
Secluded.
Yeah. So it was okay. And then, well, because I think last time I hadn't finished this one.
You had barely started it.
I had barely started. It was amazing. This book to me is like a 5-star. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Good. Very good book. And it's funny because like in the different Facebook groups and stuff, some people don't finish this and they're like, I don't like it. Yeah. I thought it was amazing.
I did too.
Like very engaging. The characters are great. Like the development, you want to know what's going to happen.
It's a page turner because every page you kind of get like a new insight into her life that spurs on more curiosity for me. Like every time I would learn something else, I was like, okay, well, I need to know more now. Yeah. And just like the little bit of the mystery aspects because you're waiting for something to be revealed at the end. Yes. Which literally the last few pages is finally revealed. Did you figure it out before? No. Yeah, me neither. I didn't, not precisely. Like I suspected that character that was revealed. I suspected that it had to do with him, and I kind of had suspicions, but I couldn't quite figure it out because there wasn't enough cookie crumbs left to put it together. It was, you were kind of grasping at straws. And it's kind of funny because Debbie had messaged me and said that, don't spoil it for me, but this is what her daughter had predicted and what she was thinking and whatever. And it was funny because those exact predictions were what had gone through my mind, but then you can put pieces together through the story and you're like, no, that doesn't work. So it can't be that. And that's how I felt like the whole story. I'm like, okay, well, it can't be this. It can't be that. What is it?
Yeah. And I read quite a bit or listen to books or whatever. And I don't often tell my family about what I'm reading. It's just whatever. But this book, I was driving my daughter to an appointment and I had gotten to one point in it and I'm like driving and on the way there, I'm like telling her all about this book and everything that's happening. Cause I'm like, okay, this is what's going on. What do you think could be, what do you think is going on? What's going to happen next? And she's like, why are you talking to me about this book? And I'm like, cause it's just so interesting.
I read it on vacation and I knew you hadn't read it yet, but I wanted to message you so badly. And in fact, like the other day I was, you had messaged me and I was typing and my husband had said like, what are you laughing at? And I was like, it's just so nice to be able to discuss a book with somebody that's reading it or has read it when it's a book that I've enjoyed so much that I want to like talk about it. And when you were messaging me, I'm just like, yeah, I can't wait for you to figure it out.
Well, and so this book is for our book club that we're doing at the library today. Because we're part of Art Lovers Book Club, and they do it 4 times a year, 2 in the fall-ish, and then 2 after Christmas into the spring. And so there'll be like 10 of us that get together today for an hour and talk about this, and then we go and we create art with an instructor based on the themes of the book or whatever. And it's always different, like printmaking or collage making or other things. Yeah, different things. Acrylic. That you do based on the book themes. So I can't wait to hear what the other people in the book club thought about this and what they rate it. But we're also given questions. So we pick up the book from the library and they give us this paper that has questions to think about for our discussion. And one of them was, if this were made into a movie, who do you think would play the characters? And then I was like, okay, trying to think, who is that person? And I started Googling. And then I found out that they're actually making this into a Netflix series, which
makes sense.
Will be great. So if you're not a reader, when this comes out on Netflix, you should watch it because I bet it's going to be really good.
I bet you it is.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is a great time to segue into our Knit Lovers Book Club.
Yes.
So we were hosting Knit Lovers Book Club, and today we were actually going to, instead of recording a podcast, we were going to do a live Zoom. But unfortunately, we just didn't have enough people register, which is totally fine. But we decided that since we weren't going to be discussing with a group, we would discuss the book that we read, just in case, because we do know that there were people that said they were reading it. They probably just couldn't make the time today. So we read In Holidays by Christina Loren, and it was, I would call it a novella, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
few
holiday,
100 pages.
Yeah, a holiday novella, and we'll just quickly give our reviews of it.
So I had read it, and because we were thinking about doing book clubs, so we were like, okay, if this one's going to be kind of around this time of year, pick something that's holiday themed. So I had read it first, and I thought this one's a quick read. It's really easy. It reminds me of Hallmark movies, just that kind of feel good family dynamics kind of thing. And I thought, okay, this one's pretty good. I don't mind it. It's a good book. Brandie had different feelings than me. Which I felt kind of bad because I'm like, oh, I picked a book you don't like.
No, please don't feel bad. No, that's fine. I read it and like immediately the first, so if you're going to read the book and you haven't read it, we're going to give spoilers. When I was like, I don't know, 10 pages in and I was like, I don't even want to read this. And it's because the trope was not time traveling. I don't know. Like, where like the person is doing something in the book and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, they're back at the beginning. What is that called?
Well, it's like
Groundhog
Day.
It's a Groundhog Day book.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to read a Groundhog Day book. I didn't like the movie. I don't like the trope. But I was like, well, this is for our book club, Brandie, so you need to be able to talk about it. So I read it. And there was just so many holes in the writing. And to me, like, it was obviously meant to be cutesy, obviously meant to be holiday, and they definitely checked those boxes. But to me, there was like so many holes, like where the main male character gets. I read it a long time ago, so I can't even tell you like the exact details. But he gets mad at the female character for not telling him that she liked him or something like that. And I'm like, dude, you've liked her for the same amount of time. How come you're not getting in trouble? Like, there was just things in it. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like the Groundhog Day trope. But I do love the author, and I've read many of her books and loved many of her other books.
And they don't wrap up that Groundhog Day thing. They don't say why it's happening.
No.
Or
they're not like, oh, and it's a dream and she wakes up and everything is fine. They don't wrap it up. So I'm like, okay, so what happens if like in 5 years her life isn't playing out the way it's supposed to? Oh, she's back at the airport.
Yeah, is she starting over again?
Yeah,
like,
it's weird. They didn't tie that up.
So if you just want the quick feel good type book that you don't care if it wraps up or not, pretty much like a Hallmark movie.
It's just like a Hallmark.
Then
yeah, I feel like
then sure.
On Netflix, they just announced one where like Frosty the Snowman, some hot guy. Like, it's very much.
Okay.
Yeah, I just all of a sudden my Netflix is full of holiday recommendations. So it's that time of year. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. Frosty comes to life as a hot guy. I believe that. That looks nothing like a snowman.
Well, wasn't there the Jack Frost is like, remember Jack Frost?
Yeah, that's a sad movie. The dad dies.
I know, but he's
Frosty.
the man. He's a man, and then then he's Frosty. So he was a man at one point. He wasn't a snowman that came to life one day.
You're reaching. Anyway, I have nothing else to say.
No. So I guess if you want, well, I guess we could say, so in our book club at the Zoom, we were going to do a prize. We're not holding the Zoom, so we're not going to do a prize for that. But if you've done the knit along or the crochet along that goes with our book club, and you want to still share those on Instagram using the hashtag, so it was Knit Lovers Book Club FO.
And you can tag us too at Knits and Giggles podcast. Mm-hmm. At Knits and Giggles podcast. If you take us to, that'll be great, and then we can share them, and then we will be drawing a prize or a winner for the prize. Because
we were gonna basically end that today too, but we can extend that into December or mid-December or something. What did I say? December 23rd or
show us your FOs. And I know that people were making them, or they said like, hey, we're joining you and stuff. So definitely show us your FOs, and then we can draw a winner for that prize because we have that all ready to go. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we have to ship it. We'll have to figure that out because Canada Post is on.
It'll ship once Canada Post is back. They can't strike forever. The government will make them work.
In 3 months, we're going to be like, this is Debbie's fault. That was me. What is this? Medieval?
I don't know. The government's not very nice.
Something's gonna. I hope it resolves, and I hope that the workers get what they deserve.
I hope they get what they. Yeah. I hope they get what they deserve. That sounds really mean.
I didn't mean it like that. I meant in a good way.
I hope that they get what they're working for.
That's right. But they're protesting. We should wrap this.
Fair wages and fair treatment, equitable treatment. Okay,
that makes sense. Okay, well, thank you for joining us on Knits and Giggles podcast, episode 6. Till next time.
Bye.